What's going on, people? Welcome back to Premzy TV. Make sure you're smashing a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and I hope you're all having a blessed day so far. We've got a lot to discuss. We've got a lot to discuss, people. Let's start off with a big win against Aston Villa. A win that we needed dramatically. A big win. And I'm telling you, what this should do for the boys' confidence is next level, because as we know, we had a little bit of a blip and we were too busy dropping points left, right, and centre. But the boys dug in. They showed some serious character in order to win that game and get over the line. Because when we deeped the situation, we went down twice in that game. And you got to show some serious fight to come back and not only draw the game, but win the game. Because Aston Villa, they've been doing all right of late, you get me? But look, there's a few things that I want to touch on in that game. First of all, it is the likes of Jorginho. The guy has come into the team and he's added something. You know, all of us Arsenal fans, we got PTSD when it comes down to signing Chelsea players, especially after the Willian situation. But this guy looks like he's come in at a cheap price and he's stepping up to the plate. I don't think he's won the Premier League with Chelsea as well. So that's something new. That's something that he's going to want to win. And credit to him. But let's touch on conceding these goals first of all, because since we've come back from the break, since we've come back from the new year, it's crazy how many goals we're conceding. And we need to eradicate that out the game real fast, people. We need to get rid of that out of our system. I think Saliba as well, against Ollie Watkins, too easy. It was too easy, you get me? You can't be letting man skin you like that and putting the ball in the back of the net. But I think that drawing that game, I think he learned from it, because we've seen him getting tighter to players after that, seen him closing the spaces down well. So we got to give him some credit. But all in all, we now need to go on a run. We've won that game. It doesn't matter how we needed to win that game. We just got over the line and we won it. But now we need to continue that run. And we need to maintain some form now, because this is coming to the business end of the season. And if we want to win that title, because for me, this is going to be the best chance in a very long time to win a title, we need to go now and just go on a run of, I'd say, 10 games, 15 games, whatever's left. Make sure we drop as minimum amount of points possible, because I think we collected 4 points out of the last 12, which is a bit of a mad thing when you come to think about it, considering that we was very tight. Aaron Ramsdale's kept the most clean sheets in the Premier League out of any goalkeeper. It's surprising that we are conceding goals. Big up to everybody in the chat as well. But yeah, but look, we've got a big game coming up now. We've got Leicester City. Leicester City, they found themselves in a little bit of form of late. Yeah, they had a bad result against Manchester United. But prior to that, they were on the back of a few good results. They beat Spurs 4-1. You get me? Spurs are a little bit of a yo-yo team, up and down, but they still beat them 4-1. They've got goals in their team. And the thing what I've noticed about Leicester City as well is that the goals are spread out throughout the team as well. They're not just reliant on 1-2 players to get the goal. When you see them score quite a few goals, there's quite a few different goal scorers in that. So we're going to have to be very careful of their attack. But at the same time, they're very open defensively. They are very open. They concede a lot of goals. And especially in that United game, there was a lot of space behind the defense. And that's something that we need to exploit. Because if we win this game, we go into that Everton game with an opportunity to go 5 points clear again, to create some breathing space. Because we've lost that in recent games. Man City are being hot on our heels. You got to look at United as well. All these United fans are trying to deflect. They don't want the pressure. They don't want to be involved in the title talk. But you got to look at it with facts. They're 3 points behind Man City. All it takes is for Man City to lose a game and they'll be on level points with them. If Man City are in the title race, then United are definitely in the title race. And they're probably the most informed team at the moment. You got to give Ten Hag credit. Ten Hag's come in and he's got these guys playing to a tune. So hopefully, fingers crossed, United don't get into the title race and they could fall off real quick, because, you know, man hates United to a different level. I'm not going to lie. Big up my bro. Obviously, this is our kid as well. He's a United fan. And I'm telling you now, I do not want United to get any kind of victory at all. I want them to lose the Carabao Cup final. I want them to lose tonight against Barcelona. I can't see it happening though. I think they did well against the Barca at Camp Nou. And to be fair, they deserve to win that game. But Barca managed to get it back to 2-2. And we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully their morale can get shot a little bit. But look, with this game coming up against Leicester, we have to see who's available, who's fit, and there needs to be a little bit of rotation, in my opinion. I think one player that we're going to touch on is Kieran Tierney, because there's been loads of reports saying Kieran Tierney is being linked to Newcastle. Eddie Howe likes him and he wants to be getting more game time, which is totally understandable because KT, for me, is a top quality left back. He's an old-fashioned left back. He does his job, defends well, gets down the wing, overlaps, puts the ball in, and he's very effective doing it. Now, whether he will want to be staying at Arsenal playing second fiddle to Zinchenko, that's another question. Because I'll be honest, off late, even though Zinchenko got the goal against Villa, I haven't really been too impressed with him. I feel like he holds the ball a little bit too long. He could release the ball in certain situations. You know, even though he's an inverted fullback, I would like to see him go on the outside here and there as well to give that support to Martinelli and Trossard so they're not so isolated on the wing. We know if Kieran Tierney comes into this team, he's going to be giving that in abundance. And I think with Zinchenko being 50-50 whether he'll play or not, we heard that he had an extra day off as well from training because he had a slight knock. This is probably the perfect time for Kieran Tierney to come in and show his worth. You know what I mean? So I would like to see Kieran Tierney come in. Some more injury news, Thomas Partey as well. We don't know whether he's going to be available or not for this game. But in my personal opinion, if he's not available and he's not 100%, don't play him. We've got a long rest of the season to go and we've got some important games coming up, especially with the Europa League kicking back into play as well. There's going to be a lot of fixtures in a small amount of time. If he's not 100%, don't play him. Jorginho has come in. He stepped into the team well. And I think now it's took him maybe a game or so to figure out the players, but he's got an understanding of the players. I've seen him actually progressing the ball against Aston Villa quite well, finding the spaces. So I think Jorginho will be in there. Let's see what some of you man are saying in the comments. Gabby has struggled because KT isn't supporting him from behind. 100%, bro. I agree. At the same time, we've seen Trossard come in and the same kind of situation was happening with Trossard as well. But the one thing I like about Trossard, he doesn't waste the ball. He doesn't give the possession away. If he can't do anything on the left-hand side, he's switching it over to Saka and he's making something happen. So, my cat's and that trying to walk through the door, creaking up the door. So I do apologise if you heard some background noise there. I'd rather have KT playing against Everton. Suppose, see what happens. Everton, to be fair, I do hear that Everton are quite a physical team. We're seeing against at Goodison Park, they like to try to put the body around the pitch. I think KT will handle that well. But again, if Zinchenko ain't 100%, I'd rather see KT come in. If he does well here, it doesn't mean he has to miss out against Everton. You could play him against Everton as well. That's the benefit of the Arsenal team right now. In certain positions, we've got quality players throughout. It's like at right back, Tomiyasu, Ben White. It's one of them. But look, I am getting nervous about the Kieran Tierney situation because if he does not get game time, he ain't going to be one of them players that want to sit on the bench. He's not going to want to play second fiddle. And we've got Nuno Tavares in the pipeline as well. So it might be a situation where the club might look at it and think, you know what? We can go and sell KT for 35, 40 mil to a Newcastle and bring Tavares in, which I don't want to see. I'll be honest, I don't want to see that. I love Kieran Tierney. I think he's a top-class left-back, old-school left-back, and we need to have him in the squad. If we want to build a Premier League winning side, a Champions League winning side, we need top-quality players in every position. Chazza says, gas for the Europa League. The double is on the cards. Bro, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Don't get it twisted. I want to go for both competitions. I've been hearing people of late saying, if we're still in it in the Premier League towards the latter stages, don't focus on the Europa League so much. Just put all the eggs in the basket for the Premier League. I don't want to see that. I value the Europa League. We haven't won a European competition in a very long time. So I want to see us win that Europa League 110%. We got enough rotation in the squad. Likes of Emil Smith-Rowe now as well are coming back. We seen him on the bench against Villa. You know, he didn't get no game time, but he will be back. He'll be available. Fabio Vieira, when he came on as well, he picked out that pass for Martinelli. There's quality within Fabio Vieira, but honestly, I think we'll see the best Vieira next season. I think this season it's just him getting used to the Premier League, getting used to the pace of it. But we will see the best of him next season, in my opinion. When will we get to see Kiwa play? I think Kiwa will play. He might play some Europa League games. I think he will play some Europa League games, depending on who we get drawn against. There's opportunities for him to. No, I don't think he'll play in the Premier League. I'll be honest, I don't think he'll play in the Premier League unless Gabriel gets injured. But I think he'll get some rotation time in the Europa League. It's going to be interesting to see what he can offer to us, to be honest, because we've not seen anything of him. Don't really know much about him. We know that he's come with high potential, but he's going to need to get up to speed with things. And I think maybe just getting him in at January is more for next year to see what he can do and offer, because we're going to be in 4 competitions next year. We're going to need a big squad, especially if we want to compete on all fronts. And Rob Holding, we don't know what's going to happen with him as well. Personally, in my opinion, I think we should move on from Rob Holding now and bring in another centre-back. But defensively, in the defensive positions, we're all right. We actually are all right. I think Mohamed El Nene has actually signed a contract extension as well to 2024, so he's got another year on his deal. So in midfield, we got bodies there. Lokonga will be back next year. Whether we loan him out again or we sell him, we're going to have to wait and see. But with Kiwa, I think he's going to have to wait to get his opportunity and his chance, because Gabriel at the moment is playing unbelievable. Probably our best centre-back. We could get a lot of money from sales this summer. Anyway, Tavares out, all the loans to be sold apart from Balogun and the youngsters. I do not want to see Balogun get sold. I do not want to see Balogun get sold. No way. I think this guy is a clinical finisher. Personally, I believe if he comes into the team, gets the same kind of game time as Eddie Nketiah, you'll see a lot more goals from Balogun than you would from Eddie Nketiah. That's my honest opinion. So I wouldn't want to see him go at all. Maybe loan him out again for one more season. But I think we do need to bring him back in. But I can see Arteta loaning him out again for a season, because obviously he signed that contract, and whether Arteta is going to sell Nketiah or not, I don't think he is. Obviously, Eddie signed a new contract, got the 14 shirt, 100 bags a week. I can't see him moving him on anytime soon. So there's probably another option there for Balogun to get loaned, because we have been linked to different strikers as well. There's that striker from Atlanta that's been linked to us as well, saying Real Madrid have been after him. There's also talks of Martinez from Inter Milan. So we're going to have to wait and see what the situation is with Balogun. But I think if we end up selling Balogun, we've shot ourselves in the foot. Top player. Trust me. Let's see what else. We need to spend big money in the summer for a centre-back, midfielder and attacker. Plus, if KT leaves, we need a new left-back. I don't even want to think about KT leaving, to be honest with you, Costa. I really don't want to be thinking about him leaving. But I think if Tavares comes back in to the side, he's played very well on loan at the moment. Maybe he could come in. We got that Austrian trusty kid as well. He can maybe step in at centre-back for Rob Holding. You know, I think we need to spend the money in midfield. I think we could still upgrade on Granit Xhaka, bring in a player that can give us and offer us more than what Xhaka can. But it looks like Xhaka might be looking to sign a new contract as well, that I'm hearing. So we're going to have to wait and see. But I think we do got to trust in what Arteta's doing and the players that he's bringing into the club, because so far they have worked a treat. And even with the Jorginho signing, I was a big person saying, I don't want Jorginho at the club. I don't want to be going back to Chelsea and getting players and so on. But it seems like a little bit of a smart signing now, just what we need, a little bit of experience. Like I said, on Premier League Unpacked, if that ball would have fallen to, say, a younger player or a Sambi Lokonga or someone like that against Aston Villa, I don't think he would have had a shot. I think a Thomas Partey would have shot. And I think Jorginho, because of the experience, he just thought, you know what? In this kind of moment, I just need to let the ball go and just hit it hard. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with the situation on Rob Holding. We're going to have to wait and see on Lokonga, because if we do move on from Lokonga next season, we're definitely going to have to bring in another midfielder as well, because Thomas Partey's injuries, they're too consistent. He gets injured all the time and we miss him in big games. That's the downfall of Thomas Partey, man. In a lot of the big games that we have, Thomas Partey ain't there and it shoots us in the foot. But there's also talks of maybe having a Partey and a Jorginho, a double pivot, and playing Odegaard as the number 10. I don't know what you guys think of that. I wouldn't mind seeing it in certain games because I think against certain opposition, we have to alter things a little bit. We have to change things up and adapt as well. I don't want to see just the same plan all the time. I want to see a plan B. And maybe if that means bringing a double pivot in, we'll have to wait and see. Spoke to Marseille fan the other day and he didn't rate Tavares at all. To be honest with you, I don't watch the French league as much as probably they do, but from what I've seen in bits and bobs, a couple of the games here and there, he seems to be all right. But again, Tavares is still young. He could potentially go out on another loan as well. He could potentially stay out to Marseille on loan. But if it means keeping Tavares and getting rid of Kieran Tierney, no way in a million years. I'll keep Kieran Tierney all day long. But we need to give him some rotation time. We need to give him some time to actually play, to make him feel involved in the squad again, because I can see Newcastle coming in for him. I can honestly see it. Will you be doing a watch along? Yeah, to be fair, I should be doing a watch along for it's a 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday, so I should be doing a watch along. Obviously, I was quite tied up last week, and because of the defeat as well to Man City, I just couldn't be asked. I'll be honest. I just wanted to watch the game in peace and actually listen to what's going on. So hopefully, fingers crossed that I do a watch along. I'm going to try to pencil it in and get a watch along done. But I will definitely be coming back with a match reaction as soon as the game's done, even if I don't do a watch along. Let's see. Would you go back in for Caicedo or Declan Rice? I think Declan Rice would be a good signing. He's strong. He knows the Premier League. He's young. He's English. He'll have resale value as well. Declan Rice, Caicedo. I would like Caicedo as well. I'm not going to lie. I think Caicedo would be a good Thomas Partey replacement in the future. If he comes in, he's at a young age. He can learn and understand a bit of Thomas Partey's play and what he offers to the team. And his tackling, his breakup of play is just unbelievable. Caicedo's like that's if we had him in the middle of the park, he would do really, really well. If Jorginho and Partey played, then Tierney can play to overlap Martinelli or Trossard. Well, this is it. We definitely need that overlapping run because we see it with Ben White on the right with Saka. We see Ben White providing that support to Saka. Even if he's not going to get the ball, he'll still bust the gut to close the spaces down, make other people have to follow him, so it gives space to Saka to cut inside. But we don't see that on the left-hand side. It's like we've got two total different systems playing out of the left and out on the right. I think Trossard as well, I think he probably end up getting dropped to the bench and Martinelli coming back in. I think Martinelli's got a point to prove. We've seen against Villa, he come off the bench. He got an assist. He got a goal. He looks it hungry. And I don't think he likes to be getting missed out of this team right about now because we got to understand Martinelli offered a lot of positives at the start of the season. I think due to Zinchenko's style of play, it's affected him. I think Gabriel Jesus being out the team has affected him a little bit as well. So I can see Martinelli starting this game. Like I touched on a little bit earlier on, Leicester, they leave massive holes behind the defence. So it's going to be one of them situations where a Martinelli is direct. He'll be running into them spaces, getting behind the defenders. It could cause them all sorts of trouble. But we can't take this game lightly. There's no easy game in the Premier League. Like we've seen, they battered Spurs 4-1. We need to be on job in this game. Tavares has been fantastic offensively, but his passing has been really bad, what I've seen. We've seen that at times with Arsenal as well, when he's used to come on and he used to play and have match time. His crossing was a bit mad, to be fair. Are you worried about the lack of attack after... Are you worried about the Leicester attack after how they looked versus Man United at the start of the game? To be fair, they do have goals in their team. Harvey Barnes is a threat. James Maddison coming back into the team as well is a big plus for them. Mendy's defending well from midfield. They've got a few good players there. Albrighton comes in and gets a goal here and there. We have to be on our game. We do definitely have to be on our game. And this is what I said. We need to tighten up this defense. We need to tighten it up because we're leaking too many goals. We're leaking too many goals. I think we've conceded like 11 goals in 8 matches, which is it's crazy. It's crazy. Premzi KT lacks intelligence in his game, especially with his crossing. I'd get rid of him and ship him away from the Premier League. Nah, not in my opinion, bro. I wouldn't do that. No way. I think Kieran Tierney's a good old-fashioned left-back, and you need that option because many times since Zinchenko's come in, he's been affecting a lot of people's games. So I don't really know, bro, about that one. I like Kieran Tierney. I think he's a top left-back. I think if he goes to another team, you'll see a mad Kieran Tierney and we'll all be kicking ourselves that we let him go. I think we need that rotation. I think Zinchenko can play some games. Kieran Tierney can play some games. You got to think next season as well. We're going to be in 4 competitions. I don't just want to throw away the Carabao Cup, throw away the FA Cup. I want to compete on all 4 fronts. And I think this Arsenal side, I think Arteta, that's what he's going to want to do moving forward because we see with Man City, he's been in that camp. He's been in that changing room alongside Pep. And Pep goes for absolutely everything. So it's a mad thing. What's your favourite paronta? Aloo gobi, mooli. I'll tell you, aloo paronta is my favourite paronta, bro. That's definitely my favourite paronta. I like mitti paronta as well. It's not too bad. Bit of a chard, a bit of yogurt. You can't go wrong with that. For people that don't know what that is, that's is like a chapati, but a big one with a filling in it. And a lot of Indians have it for breakfast. But to be fair, I don't have too many of them. Be honest, when I go back home to India and that, I'm all over it. But down here, I try to eat a little bit clean, and it puts a lot of weight on you. Kieran Tierney's a throwback to Winterburn. I can see where you're coming from with that. But look, let's talk Eddie Nketiah. Let's talk Eddie Nketiah because he's come in since Jesus has been out and he's done well. He's actually done well. He's got a few goals here and there. You know, he's got a few assists here and there. And he's given us some energy up front. But over the last 5 games, he hasn't scored a goal. He's been missing some sitters. He needs to pull his socks up real quick, Eddie Nketiah. And I think if we look at the situation with Gabriel Jesus now coming back, he should be more motivated to show everybody what he can do because he ain't going to want to just come out of the team with a click of a finger as soon as Jesus is back. But it looks that way. I think Jesus should be back in mid-March. They're saying that he's in training. The cameras and everything is not on him, so we don't exactly know if he's there with the ball, playing with the players just yet because you don't actually see him in training. But I feel that he is. I feel like they're just doing that so you don't really see or they can make other teams think and so on. But I think Gabriel Jesus, when he comes back into this team, he needs to come in quick, man, because we're seeing a detriment to Martinelli's game. Jesus, he'll pull out onto the left. Martinelli can go into the middle. He'll swap with Saka. He'll drop deep. Eddie Nketiah don't really give us that. He does drop deep, Eddie, and he does try to integrate with the play, but he doesn't really drift out to the left or drift out to the right and interchange with Saka or Martinelli. So I think when Jesus comes back in, we're going to see some real quality. Premzi, legend for reading that out. Took months for Babs to answer the question. Nah, bro, I'm a proud Indian, man. I'm telling you now for a fact. I'll read anything out that I can potentially read out. I try to read everyone's comments out. Obviously, if you've got any questions in here for me, people, put them in and I'll answer them as well. As long as they're respectful, I'll answer them. But look, Eddie Nketiah, he needs to step up for me. I want to see a bit more from Ben White. I think last game he played very well, but I want to see a little bit more from Ben White because I know he's got it in his locker from the start of the season. We've seen Ben White on a mad thing, so I want to see that back again. You know what, as well, on this Kieran Tierney situation, there might be a situation where Arteta might think, you know what, if I do let Kieran Tierney go, Tomiyasu could come in and fill at left back as well because we've seen Tomiyasu against Liverpool earlier on in the season, shut out Mo Salah and defend very well at left back. Maybe that might be a thought process as well. But like I said, I don't want to see him go. Premzi, do you think we should play Trossard in the Xhaka role with Martinelli and Jesus up front? Ooh, you know what, bro? I was having a little think about this not so long ago. I don't know whether it'll work. I know that we used to see Santi Cazorla play that kind of role in midfield and defend well, but I don't think it'll work with Trossard. I'll be totally honest with you. I think if we are going to see a 3-man midfield, I think it'll probably have to be a double pivot of a Jorginho and a Thomas Partey, and maybe a Jorginho progressing a little bit forward, or even a Thomas Partey progressing a little bit forward, because we know Thomas Partey can pick a pass out. We know he can have a shot. He's practiced his shooting of late, and he's strong as well at winning the ball back. So maybe it could be that. But with Trossard, I haven't really seen him play in that position. Maybe we could see him in the false nine over Eddie Nketiah until Jesus comes back. Maybe that's a position for him. But I think it's good to have players coming off the bench like a Trossard, like an Emil Smith-Rowe, even Reiss Nelson. I think people are forgetting about Reiss Nelson. Before he got injured, he was one of the bright sparks in the Arsenal team as well. So we've got a little bit of rotation and a little bit of options now, but we need to get the victories. We need to get over the line now, because I don't want to see us fall off. If we lose the title now from this position, for me, it'll be a failure. Because even though a lot of Arsenal fans go on and say, oh, you don't expect us to be here at the start of the season. No, we didn't. But now you're here, yeah, and you've been playing so consistently well for majority of the season. I expect that to continue, because we know the players have got it in them. Now we've added experience into the team. Jorginho, he's got experience. Zinchenko, experience. Gabriel Jesus, experience. So there's players in that squad with experience. We've got captains for their countries throughout the team. So there's no excuse now. You get me? If we end up falling off, it's just down to ourselves. But I don't know. I'm in one of them positions where I need to hope and pray that we can just get over the line, because it is going to be difficult. We know Man City got the know-how, but these man haven't been the same team that we've been accustomed to seeing for years. BX Gunner says Trossard is a 10 for me. I think he could play in that 10 role well, but I think, is he going to take Odegaard's place? I don't think that's going to work. I think if he does play in the Xhaka role, we're going to have to see some more defending from him. I don't know whether he can do that defensive side of the work in midfield. So that's why I wouldn't play him in the Xhaka role. But I don't know. Maybe we loan out a Fabio Vieira next season, and maybe Trossard could come into number 10 and we buy another winger. We see what happens. What do you think of ESR in the Xhaka position? We still don't know what his position is in this team. You know what? I think Emil Smith-Rowe could work in that position. I think he's physically quite strong. He's tall. He's nimble with his feet. We see him getting back and tackling for Arsenal when he does play. I could see him playing in that position, progressing the ball, integrating with the rest of the team. Good shout, Sadiq. It's a good shout. Maybe we could see Emil Smith-Rowe come into that position, because he's been pretty poor of late. I'm not going to lie. He has been pretty poor of late. We've not seen the Granit Xhaka that we've seen from the start of the season, where everyone can't believe that Granit Xhaka is a new man. Get me? Because he has been a new man. I'm not going to lie. He has been a new man, but over the last couple of games, he hasn't really looked the same kind of Xhaka. Maybe that's because Thomas Partey's out of the team. Get me? When Thomas Partey's out of the team, I think it affects Xhaka's play as well. Xhaka role this season is to play in the pockets and the left space side, the left half space, like David Silva at City. Mikel has Vieira to play in that role in his tactics. Suppose so. I think we do see Xhaka trying to overlap on the left-hand side as well, a little bit. Make sure you man are smashing a like on the stream as well, people. Subscribe if you're new, as well, as we're trying to push to that 6K mark. So make sure you do that for the Mandem. But look, let's just quickly touch on Leicester City, because they've had a few results now. They drew 2-2 with Brighton. And Brighton are no pushovers. Good result for them. They beat Walsall 1-0 in the FA Cup. 4-2 against Villa as well. Same result as us. 4-1 against Spurs. And obviously they lost 3-0 against Leicester. So against Man U. So they've got a few good results in there. They're coming off the back of a few good results. We need to make sure we do a professional performance against these, man. 100% we need a professional performance, because like I said, we can't be going into that Everton game, behind Man City, and then having to win that game in hand to go in front. We need to create that cushion again, because these men are going to be in some intense games in the Champions League. We already seen them draw 1-1. You get me? Man City of last season, they would have won that game. But this is a different Man City. We need to capitalise this season. Chelsea are falling off. You've seen Liverpool falling off. You get me? Tottenham are very yo-yo, up and down. So they're not going to really be involved too tough. Yeah, United, they're starting to develop now as a team, but have they really got the credentials to go on and win the title? Maybe challenge, but to just win week in, week out, I don't think they can do that just yet. They've got a lot of games coming up. It's City that we have to focus on, and we need to create that gap between us and City. Kenzo says Vieira will shine next season. Watch out. I think we will see a better Vieira next season. I think we know there's a quality player in him. He's got a good shot on him. He's got a good pass on him. He's got some nimble, quick feet. But it's just he needs to bulk up a little bit for the Premier League. I think he's starting to understand the league a little bit better. But we're going to have to wait and see on Fabio Vieira still. Obviously, there's no gone conclusion that he's going to be the bee's knees next season. But there is promising signs there. Barcelona will do a Man U. What Real Madrid did to Liverpool today. Bro, I hope so. But I can't see it, man. I think United at home, they've been playing very well. I think Ten Hag, once he plays a team once, he understands them, and he does what he can in the next game to try to nullify their threats. He's a good manager, Ten Hag. I think we've got to give him credit there. City. Eh? Got a City fan in the cut. Big up to yourself, though, bro. I see you in the streams all the time, man. Big up. Leicester defense is basket, bro. They can't stop our attacking force. It's not their defense that I'm worried about. It's the attack, because we see that our defense ain't that great at the moment. Get me? We leak goals. We concede goals from set pieces. This needs to change. I think if it wasn't for Aaron Ramsdale against Aston Villa, we would have conceded a lot more than 2 goals. Believe me, I'm telling you, there was too much space. It was one of them situations where it could have very easily been 3-2 to them, because we were missing chances. Martin Odegaard, mad chance. If the ball fell to anybody, I'd expect it to fall to him and him put it in the back of the net. But it is one of them situations. We need to just be on job. But look, let's look in the team. Let's see who they'll start. I think Aaron Ramsdale will start in goal. I think Ben White will start. Saliba, Gabriel. And this is where it's a little bit tricky. I would potentially put Kieran Tierney in there, because if Zinchenko's not 100%, put KT in there, give him that opportunity. You don't want to put a 50% Zinchenko in and Kieran Tierney seeing his arse about it as well, because it's not like he can't come in and do a job, because he can. I'd put Kieran Tierney in for this game. I think we'll see Jorginho. I don't think Partey will. I think Partey might be on the bench, or it's one of them, to be honest with you, with Thomas Partey, because I don't want to see Thomas Partey if he's not 100%. That is what I'm on. I do not want to see Thomas Partey if he's not 100%, because we've got big games coming up and we need him. Jorginho, I think against Leicester, he can hold his own. So I'm going to go with Jorginho and Granit Xhaka with Martin Odegaard. Up front, you can argue with putting a Trossard as a false 9, but I'm going to give Eddie his run out. I think Eddie, he does make certain things happen. He just needs to be a bit more clinical. He needs to put his chances away and hit the target, for fuck's sake, because against Man City, I don't know how this guy was just missing chances and opportunities. You get me? You're getting paid that much money. Yeah, you're a professional footballer. I'm expecting you to hit the target. 110. Hit that target, you get me? Because that's what you should be able to do. And if you're a striker, you should know where the goal is with your eyes closed. Left wing, Martinelli will come back in for me. And Saka, obviously, Saka did have a little bit of a knock. But the reports have come out that he's all right. But we need to give Saka a little bit of protection now. I want to see our boys, when Saka's getting kicked about left, right and centre, sticking it on, man. Going up to the guys, going up to the referees and letting people know, because now that's what everyone is doing to Saka. They're just chopping him up. If it carries on, he's going to end up getting a serious injury. So I want to see some protection for Saka, but I think Saka will play. And I'm confident in this game. I think we've got a good record at Leicester. And I feel like my prediction is going to be... I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal. I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal. I think we need that clean sheet. I think we definitely need that clean sheet, man. Devon says, I'd put KT in 100%. Give us your predictions in the comments as well, guys. These next 5 games should be a goal fest for our attack. what it should be and what it will be, we're going to have to wait and see, bro, because like I said, Eddie Nketiah has been missing opportunities left, right, and centre. Odegaard, who's normally clinical, missing opportunities. We're going to have to wait and see, bro. But I hope you're right. Start J20 and Trossard, give Granit a rest. So what are you saying? Put Trossard in the midfield with Jorginho and Odegaard. See how that works out. The thing is with Granit Xhaka, though, he gives us that stability in midfield. Even if he's not attacking or putting the ball through, he gives us stability, which is what I like to see. United should be the least of our worry. Their next game is against Liverpool, and by the kickoff, we could be 14 points above them. Yeah, we could be, but if we lose and they win, we won't be 14 points above them. And Liverpool, look what's happening to Liverpool right now, man. Liverpool are looking an absolute mess. I won't back Liverpool to beat United in this moment in time. Big up Luca. Jesus is coming back fit, so fire up the attack in getting more wins. Bro, Jesus is a massive miss for our team. Get me? If Man City lost to Haaland or United lost to Rashford, bro, they would feel the effects. We've had this guy out the team for 3 months. You get me? 3 months. And we've seen a big detriment. I think Eddie's done well in bits, come in and basically had a push and got us over the line in certain games. But I think that's starting to fade out a little bit. I think we're seeing now the reason why Jesus is a massive miss. Obviously, he needs to come back and start scoring goals as well. Don't get it twisted, because before he was out, he wasn't really hitting the back of the net much. You get me? Maybe with the assists, he was providing them and providing opportunities for other players, but he needs to be hitting the goal. I want my striker to be scoring goals as well. 18 points from our next 6 games and we can win the league. Bro, I just want to see us win absolutely every game. Every single game, I want to see us win now. That's it. We every game that we play now, we should be able to win. Get me? I want to see us go to Man City and beat Man City as well. Return the favour, because Man City, you can get at them. It's just a little bit of belief, yeah, a little bit of confidence, and you can go and get the victory there. If Brentford can go there and turn them over, we can do it as well. 4-1 to Arsenal. Tani Mola says. BX Gunner, 3-0 to Arsenal. Luca, I'm good. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. It's good to see that you're a bit positive now, because every time I see you in the comments, bro, you're always saying Arsenal are going to lose. Ivan Toney coming with his lineup. Goalkeeper Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, KT. Midfield, Jorginho, Zinchenko. Odegaard as Cam. Saka, Eddie and Martinelli. You know what? That's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout as well, putting Zinchenko in midfield, because I think he more or less plays in midfield anyway. He's good. He could be able to be good coming back on the defense, putting the tackles in and progressing the ball. I think that's a good shout. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Zinchenko get a little run out in midfield as well, being honest. Yasin says Man City are poor this season. Arsenal are the 100% winning the league. They are 100% winning the league. I don't know about 100%, bro. I don't know about 100%, but it looks favourable for us this season. And if we end up letting it slip out of our hands, it'll be a nightmare. I'll be honest, I'll be absolutely fuming. I'll be pulling my hair out. But people, we've come to the end of the stream now. Thank you very much for tuning in. Like I said, make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new people. I'm going to try to do a watch along. Obviously, I'll probably, if I am going to do it, I'll get it uploaded probably a few hours beforehand, just to let you know that it's going to be happening. But peace and love. We'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Gunners. Let's fucking go.